Hello, every meowie. It's the last purrs day of the month, so it's time for Warrior Chats. I'm Taylor Felicity. I'm here with Melanie, Andrews, and Zay. We're millennials who didn't read the Warrior Cats books as kids, and now we're reading them to see how it changes us. Except for in this first episode, we actually haven't read any of them yet, which is why the title of the stream is Warrior Chats Episode 1, The Baseline. This is your last opportunity to see us in our pre-Warrior Cats forms, because next month we're reading the first one and we're talking about it. So this is the baseline episode. And I am producing the stream, so I'm probably going to be kind of bossy, but we're all co-hosts. So the other two of you, if I'm talking too much or being too bossy, tell me to shut the fuck up.
For like 10 minutes.
For like 10 minutes.
I want 1/3 of the credit, and I want to do none of the work.
Oh, that's so interesting. I feel the same way.
Okay, and I'll do three-thirds of the work and get none of the credit. That's fine with me.
Perfect.
I should say, the way that we conceptualized of this project was years ago. We had the idea of doing this as a podcast, and then like a month ago I was like, I don't know how to produce a podcast, but I do actually really know how to produce streams, so why don't we just do live streams, because then we can do it.
Easy
What's
peasy.
the difference? All the big podcasters are doing video podcasts anyway.
I know. Let's decide now. Should we still call this a podcast, because it's going on YouTube afterwards? This is not on our
think it should.
If anything, it's a
outline.
Yes, thank you. That's what I was going to say. It's a podcast.
Okay. If we all agree, then this is
whether
a podcast.
or not it's a podcast.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that helps with marketing, because then I can say podcast, and then if anybody gets mad about it, I can say, I didn't say podcast, I said podcast.
In the chat, Mila says perfection, and then they say pawfection. And really, shouldn't it be perfection?
It should be perfection. Mila. So Mila, you're banned.
This is why you're on Warrior Chat.
This is why you're second.
This is why you weren't first. Also, yes, I should say, Melanie, canonically first in chat, not to rub it in. So, what are we doing here? Well, I thought, since maybe nobody knows us, we should do introductions. And also, Zay had the idea that we should talk about what our, like, kind of media influences have been, or, like, things that, like, we've been into that make us think, like, give us insight into how we might react to Warrior Cats. And so I think we're starting with Melanie, who's having a flame war in the chat right now.
Well, I can't believe Zay would just take credit for this thing that I suggested.
I did
but,
not take credit.
I gave the wrong credit.
Taylor gave me credit. I was going to say, I don't think that was my idea.
Okay, well.
But then again, I'm already starting to lose my mind. So
yeah.
I don't know why I thought it was Zay. Okay, it was Melanie. Melanie, set the record straight.
Yeah, actually, let me put my freaking little foot down here and say that was all me. I thought it would be a good idea because, like, we're all amalgamations of the things we experience in our lives, and it's a good idea to get an idea of, like, how susceptible each one of us is to becoming the warrior cat adults that we fear we will become.
Or hope.
Yeah, or hope.
Maybe we hope.
So I titled mine, Why I'm So Totally Fucked and Fated to Become a Warrior Cats Adult.
Good. Love it.
First point about this is that I already have an affinity for cat-related media. Cats the Musical, specifically the 1998 version. They're moving around, they're dancing, they're singing. I love it. I've been a fan since I was little. Next, Cats Don't Dance. this cat goes to Hollywood wanting to make it big, but animals aren't the stars of shows. Only humans are at that time. Tragic. It really spoke to my at the time in this world, in the fiction. Really spoke to a young Melanie who wanted to be an actor very badly. Lackadaisy, which if you're not familiar, is a webcomic that came out in like the early 2000s. That's very 1920s speakeasy vibe. Very cool kind of style that they had. And I think it was 2023 that they came out with an animated feature about it. These are all anthropomorphic cats, though. So maybe this doesn't translate into what we're going to be doing, but that's just a little sample of the things that I like. Other things that put me in peril is my love of survival narratives. And I will say this, I don't know anything about warrior cats going into it, but I feel like it probably has something to do with, like, I know there's clans, there's grit, there's surviving, there's, being out in the wild. And I have had a love of those kinds of things for a while. Hatchet is a big one.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's a lot for a lot of millennials, being abandoned in an area and learning to fend for yourself. To a lesser extent, Swiss Family Robinson and Little House on the Prairie, not so much so, but like that kind of, I was big into those things. Also, video games that are more survival based, like Don't Starve, Project Zomboid. I'm not into Project Zomboid because of zombies. I'm into it for the becoming a community and and surviving together. Also, when I was a kid, I remember, this is to another point. As a kid, I remember sitting in my sandbox and literally thinking, I want to play pretend for the rest of my life. And while growing up and bullying happened to me, that love is still within me, even though the world tried to stop me from feeling that way. Which is all to say, the biggest reason why I am at risk of becoming a Warrior Cats adult is that I want this too bad. I am teetering on the precipice of this Warrior Cats canyon, and I'm excited to jump off. I want to be so totally immersed in this, and I want to lose myself to this world. In fact, I will be disappointed if that doesn't happen. I have 4 cats, not by choice, but by circumstance. And it seems like a very fun thing to pretend to be a little clan with them. So the biggest reason is that I want it,
I love that. Very well said.
We'll do it for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Also, Mila took advantage of something that I made, which we shouldn't use, the participants of the stream. And I guess unless you want to immediately give in to something. But I did make a bot command that people can use channel points to once per stream. If I could, I would make it once ever per user, but I could not figure out how to make it that stringent, to give them a warrior cat name. So I typed in, I have a text document on my computer that is like line by line a bunch of like first halves of cat names, and then a second document that's a bunch of second halves from cat names, and then I have like code with my bot that's like pick a random one from each and it puts them together, which means because it's random, some of them, like, you could get the name like Cloud. Because when I was looking at all the names for cats, sometimes it like some suffixes and prefixes or whatever, like sometimes it is the same. But Mila got the warrior cat name of Rosebriar, which is
so
a very cool name. Very cool name.
So you have sort of spoiled yourself for
a little bit.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's it. I don't know if you really did, because I mean, we're all Mabim Bam fans here. Mm-hmm. There's that episode like early on in Mabim Bam where they are going through warrior cats names.
Yeah. So what
so,
I
like,
did is,
we know that.
Yeah. So I didn't look too much into like what the naming conventions mean, although I did see a little bit about it. I found someone else who had made a list of, and I don't know how old this is, so maybe there's more cats now, but they basically made a list of every single cat name in the book. So it was like 700 or something different names.
Holy
And then I
moly.
went through that and was like, okay, here's like first half, here's second half. And then put in some things of my own that I just thought would be cool. But um yeah.
Incredible.
Wait, real quick before we move on, what names did you add that you thought would be cool? What are your cool warrior cat names?
What's a cool cat name?
What's your
I
cool
mean,
cat
just
name?
like really like halves of names. So it was mostly like in the first half, like because a lot of them are like animals and things. So I put like, like I think I put, oh, I can't even remember now. And they might be in the books because as I was typing, I didn't like go through the entire list and type every single first half, although I think I got most of them. What did I put? Oh, I put blood. Was one because
That's
I
pretty
didn't
cool.
see that.
Pretty
Yeah.
cool.
I think some different birds, I think, but I can't remember which ones because hawk and sparrow are already ones in the books. So I don't know. To be honest, it's a haze to me. The only one I remember right now is blood because I was like, I'm surprised this isn't in here. Which I think I put that as a first half, but I can't remember. But maybe people will see them as they redeem for their cat name. Also, hello, Rue. Hello in chat. So Melanie, I guess you did your very eloquent.
Was it?
I think so. More eloquent
This
than
is
mine
incredible.
would be.
It
Why is
it felt
not
panicked.
Well, it
Well,
didn't come
even
across
Isn't
as
that-
panicked.
Isn't that how you make a good podcast? Panic.
Oh,
That's true.
I'm great at podcasts then.
Same.
Okay, why is it? Oh, I'm clicking the wrong thing. Okay, I put my in our shared notes. I just like kind of put a black highlighter over mine, so if people didn't want to see what I was going to talk about, they wouldn't. But then I couldn't figure out how to take the highlight off, and I just did.
Oh
so.
no.
I just kept clicking the black highlighter again instead of clicking none, which is
Just running marker
doing
over
it.
something again. You're like, why won't it show up?
I'm not smart. So I listed my things as touchstones / vulnerabilities. Areas that I think are why this will be dangerous to me. And also things that I'm like really interested in. So, I think first of all, which Zay knows this because we've been friends for so long, I was very into Star Wars as a kid, and I still do really like Star Wars, although I'm not as like all consumed by it as I was as a kid, and played pretend with Star Wars for like past what I think is socially acceptable. Like I think I was still running around the woods playing Star Wars when I was like 15, which is a little bit old to be doing that, I think.
I think that's fine.
As a person who
I think
was
so too.
15, 16, running around the woods playing like X-Men with my own OC characters, it makes sense that we became friends at this time in our lives.
Yeah, and like, I mean, I run a TTRPG Twitch channel, so like, has that stopped? The only thing that's changed is I'm not in the woods. Other than that, I'm still
And that's
pretending.
a downgrade.
Yeah. We're not getting vitamin D.
I have thought about getting into LARPing, so
We really should, though, right?
maybe
Is
we
this
will.
the year that we do that? This is a side note I get.
I don't know. This is the year I'm
this
getting
the
into
year we
trains. I don't know if I can also get into LARPing.
Oh, okay. So LARPing us.
And also, I might become a furry, and that seems like too much going on.
I think
is a lot.
LARPing and furryhood go like. hand
Yeah,
in
you
hand.
could kill two birds with one stone with that one.
That's-
Or you could, what is the PETA version? You could
I don't-
feed
You-
feed two birds with one seed.
Scone. Oh.
Scone! You're
I
right.
was also gonna say stone.
Oh, is that
It
their
is-
thing? Because that
I think
okay.
so, it is scone.
I was just going with what rhymed.
I think
I
they
think
were
if
too.
you're, I will just say, I think if you're going to become a furry, you definitely shouldn't kill birds.
Well, it depends on what kind of
I am.
furry.
I'm not a feathery.
Yeah, what is that called? Is that called? I know scalies. If you're a lizard, you're a
Yeah.
scaly. Oh my gosh, Mike is in chat. Mike said trains and warrior cats. Rare Mike
I
spotting.
know it's a big year for Mel.
It is a big year. Full on leaning into the autism this year, you wrote. You gotta say that out loud. You can't just put that in the chat. Another vulnerability. I have a penchant for getting like very, very into things to the degree that I have perhaps been accused of certain neurodivergencies. And one example is I was super, super, super into the Beatles when I was like 17 to like 22, 23. I was like very into the Beatles. I still really like the Beatles. But when I was a teenager and into the Beatles, I remember like laying in bed one night and thinking, getting like kind of panicky and feeling like, what if I can't stop thinking about the Beatles? Like, because I was so consumed with thoughts about the Beatles that I was like, what if something's wrong with my brain?
Was this? Were you worried that you would never be able to stop thinking about the Beatles, or just like you would think of the Beatles your entire life, or just like you were going to hit a moment where the only thought you could have is the Beatles?
It already kind of was that. The second thing you said, I was thinking about them so much, and like to fall asleep at this is so embarrassing. To fall asleep at night, I would like put myself in like if I was living in the 60s and I like met the Beatles, and I was like 17. That's like kind of old to be going like, and if I met Paul McCartney. This is so like I was, I guess, what is that called? There's like a term for that.
Special interest?
No.
Fixation?
Like, no. It's is it maladaptive daydreaming? Where like you like can't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like I was doing that and I was like, what if I can't stop thinking about this? Like, what if I'm always thinking about the Beatles? So it wasn't even just like I was like, oh, I'm like interested in them, and what if I'm interested in them forever? It was like, what if I am this fixated on this forever? Which didn't happen. That's fine. Everything's fine now. Anyway, let's move on to the next thing. The other reason
Mila
why...
wants to know if you ever stopped thinking about the Beatles.
Yes, I did. I did. Around college, I was still very into the Beatles. I actually, my like senior honors thesis was a Beatles screenplay, so it was still something I was very interested in. But I was not constantly thinking about Paul McCartney. So that's good. Mila just said, "Oh, cool." Rhea said, "I don't believe I think you're thinking about the Beatles to this day." I mean, sometimes.
We should really try to meet Paul McCartney at some point, right? Would that be? I don't know how we're gonna make that happen, but we should try, right?
I think after saying what I just said, I'm probably on a list where I will never be able to meet Paul McCartney.
I would say of the people who are like Beatles fans who have gone crazy over Paul McCartney, I think you're probably on the lower end of that list, if at all.
Yeah, but I have a digital footprint now. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm fine. Everything's fine. I was just kind of thinking about Paul McCartney a lot.
I'm sure Gareth the Goblin King has me on a list somewhere. I'm sure.
Anyway, I can't start talking about the Beatles again because who knows what it's gonna do to me. Another thing.
Not be able to stop.
Not be able to stop. I also, when I'm really interested in something, I also just like participate in that thing a lot. So, for example, like video games. Like if I get a video game that I'm really into, I will just like play it. I'm sure we'll talk about this more later, but for example, Breath of the Wild and Animal Crossing, I would play for like 8 hours a day, and then I would be out in my like normal life, and I would see like a bug and go like, oh, I should catch that. I don't think I have that one yet. So that's another reason why I think that I'm at risk here. I also have a propensity for liking cute animal media. Not even just exclusively cute, because I know Warrior Cats is like pretty violent, but stuff like Mouse Ritter, Redwall, Secret of Nim. I mean, the three of us have played 2 different games of Wanderhome together, so I do like animal stuff. Another thing I have, Melanie knows this, seriously considered spending $50 to $70 on cute animal ears that I saw at Pride. There's like an artist that I like who like makes very cute like different animal ears. And I was like, should I get one of these? And then I decided not to because I was like, it's kind of expensive, and when would I wear these? Maybe for Warrior Chats.
Well,
I mean,
now you have a good time. Now you have to.
Now I have to. Yeah. If we make any money off of this, we have 2 things that we're gonna do. One, commission the artist for Animorphs to do our YouTube thumbnails, which we talked
Commission
about.
an artist who did covers of a different weird children's book series.
Yeah, to do us morphing into cats. So that's the first thing. And then the next thing is we can all get cute ears. But that's going to be a lot of money, both of those things. And then the last reason, because I've been talking for like way longer than Melanie, the last reason why I think I'm vulnerable is I do think, and I won't elaborate on this, that cringe culture is fascist. So I think I don't have a lot of inherent things that will stop me from getting too into Warrior Cats, because I'm not going to say like, oh, this is too cringe, because I think the fear of cringe is fascist. So that's the last thing.
100% agree. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's why we're all
Completely
doing this, right? Is we were like, fuck that, fuck people like
Little
hating
cringe
on
pin.
Warrior Cats.
Yeah, that's why we started this. We said, fuck people hating on Warrior Cats. We haven't read them.
We haven't read it at all. We're gonna be those people.
So I will pass the mic to Zay to talk about your interests, whatever you have prepared.
Whatever. Yeah. The 2 of you already know this, but to the audience, because I'm me, I had to write out a whole pretentious timeline.
So good.
To which I am sorry, but I am like this. Which is probably enough of a sign as to why I'm in danger of becoming a Warrior Cats kid. But yeah, it is 1995, and I'm 4 years old. My favorite movie in the world is the Disney animated Robin Hood. There was a fallen tree in my grandparents' backyard that I have dubbed Robin Hood Tree Fort. That's an uncreative name, to be sure, but I was a little busy playing on my fantasies to come up with anything better. And on the day I discover that my grandfather has cut that tree into pieces, I will feel a sense of sadness and betrayal that will undoubtedly cause trust issues for years to come. December 1996. Christmas is not quite here, but I have already been given one of the most lasting gifts I will ever receive in the form of a box containing my father's original Star Wars action figures. And as I bang those stupid, dinky little plastic sticks that came out of their arms that were supposedly lightsabers, I asked to watch whatever movie they came from. And that began an obsession that lasts to this day, though it did hit its peak about 10 years after that when I read a 19-book expanded universe series for the second time. 1999. The old copy of The Hobbit that I discovered is already falling apart from overuse. In months, that spine will be held together only with tape. In a year, I will be begging my parents to take me to the theater release of The Fellowship of the Ring. That will throw me so deeply into this world. For years, it will be all I can think about. And every character I create for about 3 years afterward will borrow a name from that series. In 2006, I still think I'm a boy, though the thoughts that will eventually change that are swirling in my head. My favorite book in the world at this time is Aragon, written by a boy barely older than me. And at this moment, I'm in my backyard pretending to ride a dragon. Every so often, I will attempt with all the conviction I have to cast a spell. uttering magic words to see if the magic I feel inside is evident in the world. It is not today. 2015, I'm stuck. The next 3 years are going to bring a long and deep depressive spell that will spit me out the other side an entirely different person. But right now, I'm only looking for distractions. So I'm throwing myself into reading a Marvel Comics spin-off label known as the Ultimate Universe. There are about 600 issues. I'm going to read every single one of them. I'll even like a few of them. It's 2017, and I'm sitting at my mother's dining table with my family, playing my first real game of D&D. Though through it, I will have a chance to explore aspects of my identity desperately looking to express themselves. This game will lead to a hobby that becomes a passion, and for a time, a lifeline. It's 2021, and I'm trying not to cry at work. For a year, I have spent my time obsessing over a weird niche internet game called Baseball. I've been role-playing a character that is essentially a randomly generated name and set of attributes. I love her dearly. She's my connection into a world and community that is keeping me sane in a frightening time. And now, in a sudden, random flash, she is dead, killed by a roll of the dice that finally went against her. Tonight, I will wallow alone in a grief that I cannot explain to anyone around me. It's 2024, and I'm creating yet another character in Dragon Age Inquisition. I've long since lost all track of how many times I've played through this series. Every 2 or 3 years, I rediscover my love of this world and immerse myself completely in the lore. And now, it's 2025. I'm checking out the first Warrior Cats book from the library and wondering if this will be the start of a whole new journey.
Oh my god, Zay is so good. If y'all aren't in love with your friends, what are you fucking doing? Don't be friends with them anymore. You're doing it wrong. You're doing friendship wrong if you're not in love with your friends. Are you kidding me? Holy shit.
That was good.
That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for writing that and sharing it with us.
Yeah, once again, I'm sorry that I am this way.
Fuck off. That's perfect.
Never apologize again for anything.
For anything ever.
Remember when Melanie was like, hey, what if we just talk about the things that we like and like, you know, that might make us, you know,
Yes,
susceptible
this is
to getting
obviously
really
what I
into a thing.
wanted.
And I was like, what if I talk about my deepest traumas?
This is obviously what I wanted. Are you kidding me?
I think that's why I thought Zay came up with it, because they had sent in the group chat that they had written this like long thing, and so in my mind I was like, well, they were the ones who she wanted
absolutely.
to do this, obviously.
No, someone else came up with the idea, and I was like, I will take this way too far.
No.
I love that.
It was perfect. Thing that I love about both of yours is that, like, although I didn't say the things, there is elements of my shit in that too.
Yeah.
Like obsession about a thing, not being able to think about anything else. Like, Zay, if we had known each other as kids, we would have played pretend outside so hard.
Melanie, we would have been the best friends.
We would have been such good
Hey,
friends.
hey!
All of us. All of us would have been playing
Wait
outside.
a minute! I was your best friend.
It's probably best that we met when we did, because otherwise probably jealousy would be like, no, I'm the best friend, and then we wouldn't.
Yeah, that's true.
But like seriously, in high school, I was
either would have been
running through the forest, swinging from vines and stuff.
Yeah, I had a huge backyard with like a wooded area in the back, and I was homeschooled. I got to go out and just like play in the woods unsupervised.
The house that I grew up in, we had a very like long, large backyard that there was my dad's garden and hedges on the one side, and then like a bunch of like pines on one side. So it was pretty secluded. And I would go outside and play and be like, my play was being like, I'm gonna go survive. And I would take like a handkerchief and put like an apple in it and try to tie it on the end of like a stick, and it really wouldn't work out all that well. But then I would go and like, if any friend would come over, I would be like, let me show you what's safe to eat outside. I would take them.
I love that.
Yeah.
We're all, I think the easiest way to put this is we're all very susceptible to flights of fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't care about seeming weird anymore.
Yeah.
Gave up on that a long time ago.
Yeah. So I think with all of that being said, we do have some metrics that we'll be using because the whole thing of this is I already has been established. I don't remember who said what things. So I don't remember who said this originally, but the origin of this project, this podcast, is that we were hanging out together a couple years ago and talking about, someone was talking about Warrior Cats, and we were like, oh, we haven't read them. And I think it was Melanie, but I could be wrong, said, how do you think we would be different as adults? Like, how would we be different now if we had read those books when we were kids? And then that kind of turned into like, do we think that we would change in some meaningful way now that we're in our 30s? Like reading them now, like as adults with, fully formed personalities, I guess. Is like
yeah, I don't know if I was the one who said about reading it now as adults, but I think I was the one who was like, Warrior Cats missed me at a time in my life where if I had read it, I'd probably be very different right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it would affect me in that same kind of way now. And I think we all were like, well, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
See how that
Maybe we should see. Maybe we should do some human experimentation. And of course, it wouldn't be experimentation if we didn't have metrics that we were measuring. So during our pre-production meeting, we talked about what we think these metrics will be. So we have them on a little list. We're going to talk about them. And then I think place ourselves like where we think we are on this metric now. The first one is just a simple yes or no. So not really much of a this is kind of a binary metric. But the first one, and these are going to be on a scale of 1 to 5, except for, like I said, this first one. The first one is cat name. It's what this metric is called. Have we come up with warrior cat names for ourselves? Yes or no? This could eventually, because it's only a matter of time before we do come up with names for ourselves, I think. Could eventually evolve into, do we have a warrior cat OC? Talking about that, like how developed is this OC? So for now, it's just name. Could develop into other things. For me, I do not currently have a warrior cat name.
I do not as well.
I do not. I'm going to say too, I think OC is going to come before warrior cat name for me.
Oh.
That's my one thing. Like OC's like, that's a creative project. Like that's me stretching my creativity. That's not getting too into a children's book. It's when I make a name for myself that I'm like, uh-oh.
So you're differentiating between naming your OC and naming yourself.
Yeah, if I can pretend like that's not me, that's an OC, that's a character.
Yeah.
That's not me. Then that I think is a level of separation I can create for myself. So I'm like, it's fine to just create an OC like right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is fine.
It's when I'm like, I'm a warrior cat and I have a name for myself. I picked a clan.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I said to Taylor and Zay at the beginning of this that there was something to do with our pictures that I wanted to talk about at some point during this, and maybe now's a good time.
Yeah.
The makeup that I have in my picture, I spent a lot of time studying. Can
I interrupt you really quick so people know what you mean when you say picture?
Sure, yeah, please.
The promo image that I made for Warrior Chats. So if you're on Blue Sky, you would have seen it. I posted it there. If you're on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. You would have seen it. That's the picture Melanie's talking about right now.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. And I had taken, I'd looked at like from the original 1998 Cats the Musical, like behind the scenes makeup department. Like they would have how you're supposed to like set up your face because each actor would do their own makeup. So I studied those and found one that was more sort of generic cat, not like the more distinctive ones, and did that. Would it be fun if at the end of this, I do all of our makeup in that way for you two as well? Or should it not be Cats the Musical-esque and should be more like we dress up like our OCs if we end up making OCs?
Ooh.
That can be both. We can dress up and you can do our makeup. And I'm
Yes.
going to say, I think you know my answer, but if in case it's not clear to anyone, I'm currently wearing my cat's playbill earrings that you gave me. So yes, yes, I want that very badly.
Well, here's my thing is like the makeup for Cats the Musical is very different from what might be we would want for like a Warrior Cats kind of deal.
Yeah.
So like do we want to have an episode where we do Cats the Musical and then we do a more I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. And yeah. Cuz I mean like looking at a face in the way that like they did for the musical, I'm probably going to do that anyways for an OC. So
the
I've
makeup you did
myself.
was incredible. We should
So good.
we should do maybe at some point an IRL stream. So like like the two of you come over to my house and we are all on camera and in the makeup. It would be hard to fit us all onto one. Well, don't call it a clan meeting.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're right. It's not a clan rally.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. This is a slightly separate thing, but I guess I feel like we might need to go over this now, which is, are we all going to be from the same clan when we get to that point?
We don't know.
It's impossible to say. We haven't taken the clan test, the Warrior Cat clan test yet.
Yeah, to have a clean like start to this, we have not. Besides Taylor doing some naming convention stuff, we don't know anything about Warrior Cats. We haven't looked into any of this. We're gonna take the which clan are you test after this, but before we start reading, and then I think. When do we take it again? After we're done reading the main books?
The first 9, I think, makes sense. Because that's like the original series, I think.
Okay.
Again, not having done that much research other than we talked about how many freaking books there are, which is a lot. If you like the series, you're going to be well fed for the rest of your life. We're doing it once a month. There's like 300 books.
I have confidence in our friendship that we'll be friends until, we die. So
until we read all the Warrior Cats books.
Then
Melanie,
we can die.
Do you want to talk about the next metric?
Yes, it actually kind of goes into that, which is our next metric is cat presentation level. So on a scale of 1 to 5, how cat-like our appearance is. Are we wearing cat accessories, Zay? Are we wearing fursuits, cat suits, cat-like makeup? And I don't know, someone might start wearing more and more or bringing more and more of their cat paraphernalia onto stream. Who can say? Who can say that?
Yeah.
Some people might show up in other people's dreams as and turn into cats.
You're calling out other people. She's doling out the dirt. This is blackmail.
I don't know. I kind of want to just leave it at that. Let everybody wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who could we be talking about?
Who could we be talking about? I think on a scale of 1 to 5, my cat appearance now is like maybe a 1. I didn't even have any cat stuff to like really wear for stream. The only thing is I have a couple of like those little hair like pin things that have little cats on them that someone gave to me as a gift. But I didn't wear them because you can't really see them on stream because it would be on the back of my head. So That's it. So maybe a 1. I have been on stream before with a little. I was a dog, but with a little like, nose, and whiskers.
I would say that's a 0.
Oh,
That's
okay.
not a cat.
Then maybe it's a 0. I'll take it. Where are you two at?
I think I gotta go with a 1, given the cat earrings and the fact that I do use a picture of one of my cats as a profile.
True.
Actually,
yeah.
this guy and Discord right now. So, in my digital life. But there's not a lot of places to go up from here. I don't think I have a lot of cat paraphernalia. So when I start buying it, that will be a very clear sign.
I have one of those moms who learns that you like a certain type of animal and then will buy you a lot of those things. But no matter how much I tell her that I don't like cats in general, that I just like my cats, I still get cat things. So I got some stuff I could probably loan you if you want anything cat related. In terms of appearance right now, I think I'm very not. I think I would be a 0 right now. I'm not even wearing my cat frames. I'm pretty low cat right now. And I would say that, I don't know, I think if we think about cats as being like graceful and like sleek, I would say that that's not really my whole deal.
Some cats are not very graceful.
That might end up,
I think that goes into our next metric, which is our cat mentality level. On a scale of 1 to 5, how cat-like are our mannerisms? Have we hissed at people we don't like? Have we laid on the ground and had a good stretch? Have we toyed with food before eating it? Are we doing things that are cat-like? I think for myself, I would say maybe I'm at a 2 right now for cat mentality because I do sleep a lot. But mostly during the day. And I'm awake very late at night and active. I do like like a cat. I do kind of get the zoomies sometimes. And I do actually, I wrote this because I was like, when I was writing this description, I was like thinking about like what my cat does, but I actually do lay on the ground and stretch like pretty frequently. Like I do need to have floor time, like not infrequently. Yeah, where I bond with my cat. So I think I'm at a 2. I don't hiss at people I don't like. But I think some cat behaviors I have a propensity for.
Okay. I think that I'm probably at a 1. Back in high school, I would lock eyes with a person and then knock over their whatever they have on a table, or I would take it and I'd flip it. It's like just doing like, or it's like slowly push a thing off while looking at a person. Yes. Very cat coded. But where I'm at currently, I wouldn't say that I'm very cat-like. Although, as I was prepping for today's stream, I did look at myself and go, wow. So it begins.
And that's why you're at a 1.
Oh, well, if that's a 1, then I might be a 0. I don't know right now that I have a lot of cat mannerisms. I'm bad at napping. I'm actually like actively bad at it. It sucks. I hate it.
What if this leads to you being better at napping?
Oh.
What if that's what the...
Do you know how happy I would be? This will fix me. That could fix me.
Warrior cats will fix you.
There's a fix you parody in there somewhere. Cats will guide you home.
All right, that is a future bonus stream. We get enough donations.
Will gnaw on your bones.
Yeah,
I will try to
I don't
fix
know.
Mew.
I think that might be a step too far.
A paw out of line.
Uh-oh. I also have a very strong propensity for writing parody songs that are like so narrow in scope, so that I might write that parody song.
I love it. Sorry, Zay. Please continue.
No, I guess I'm at like a 0 for cats. I do get the zoomies, but well, and this might kind of lead into our next one as well. But one thing I do is I like to get outside. I get the zoomies, and I got to go outside in the specifically in the woods. So that might be a very not cat thing, but a very warrior cat thing.
I know you're trying to segue into the next thing, but I do have a question, which is when you do go outside, do you immediately decide you want to go back inside?
No.
Okay.
Usually
So
I have the come inside, and I immediately decide I want to be back outside.
Okay. I think a 0 is good.
It only works one way.
Yeah. On with your segue.
Yeah, our next one then is warrior level, which is on a scale of 1 to 5, like how warrior like are we? Have we committed any acts of violence recently? Maybe been injured? Anybody training with a weapon? I feel like I gotta just start myself out here as like a 2. I do have a sword like within reach, so
yeah,
I think there are multiple knives within reach. I think that I need to put myself just at a 2 to start.
Wow, a 2 out of 5. That's
there.
Awesome. That's great.
Is it?
Yeah, I love that for you.
That's a good one. That's a good one to be a 2
0
out of
cat.
5. 0 cat, 2 warrior.
0 cat, 2 warrior.
We have also talked about, not on stream, but which maybe we'll get into predictions, but since Zay is a TTRPG designer, and I dabble in designing, but we all play TTRPGs. So I do wonder how long it is before one of us writes a TTRPG, or all 3 of us together write a TTRPG that is a honey heist hack that is warrior cat, which also might already exist because I've been trying not to Google warrior cats that much. So
yeah, okay, we were just talking about
LARPs. If it doesn't, we need to exist, and then I think we need to create a larger, like full-fleshed. I know a warrior cats RPG exists, and we will play it at some point.
Yeah,
but I do think we should write our own as well.
Warrior cats LARP. What if one of you writes that, and then we go outside and we do a little warrior cat?
Melanie's cooking.
Let's go to the woods.
Let's go to the woods. Back to nature.
We have access to woods. We could do this.
Yeah, absolutely. Taylor, how are you feeling warrior level wise?
I'm trying to decide between a 1 and a 0. I'm not very warrior-ish. Like, I'm not super, like, I don't know. I'm not super violent. The reason why I'm thinking I could be a 1 is because I have been, like, extremely angry a lot lately. So that could be a 1. Just because I am, like, imagining.
I feel like the fall up a little bit.
Yeah, I have been imagining and wishing ill and acts of violence on people, but I think my ability to enact them is pretty low.
With that point, I think I have to give myself a 1. Because I was gonna say 0. I'm not training with any weapons or anything. But yeah, there is a hate within me.
Luckily, this isn't a Star Wars thing.
You know? I mean, like, not even just recently, but like My goodness. I'm not a Death Note person, but I do very strongly think that I should have a Death Note, and I think I would use it for the good of everybody if I had it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I think that's the plot
Like
of Death Note.
that I should have it.
Is it not?
Yeah. The plot of Death
I
Note at the
think
very beginning, they say, Melanie should have had this, but someone else got it instead. This is their story.
Look what happens when Melanie doesn't have
Yeah.
this power.
Listen.
Yeah, I think I have a level of bloodlust, I think, that puts me at a 1. It sounds like you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Zay, the way that you hope that this makes naps a thing for you, I hope this makes me start to like train with weapons. I hope this makes me a warrior in a way that I'm not. Because I'm more passive and thinking things through and being rational about shit. I want to go. I think I should seek revenge.
Yeah, you want to go
I
ape
should-
shit.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like
I
that
do.
arc for you.
I want.
I
that.
support that for you.
Yeah. This could be dangerous, your warrior arc, depending on how the immersion level,
Yeah.
which is what you're about to talk about.
Which I was gonna say, like we're talking about going back to the woods. Immersion level is our last metric. On a scale of 1 to 5, how mentally immersed we are in the Warrior Cats universe. Have we mistaken a fact of the universe as true in our world? Have you ever seen something in real life and thought, I should grab that for battle? Are we dreaming about Warrior Cats when we aren't here talking about it or reading about it? Oh my gosh, I was gonna say I'm at a 0 for, but I think about it a lot because we've been amping up to this, a thing that we've had in the works for years now. So I would say that I'm at least like a 1 or 2 because I've been excited about this for a while. I've been freaking chomping at the bit. Would that be a 2 or a 1? Do you both think?
I think a 1, because right now you're like immersed in being excited about this show and not being immersed in like the actual world of Warrior Cats. That's what I would say.
I don't know anything about it yet to be immersed, but I know from my past that I definitely am the type of person who does that kind of stuff. I know I've talked about it on stream before, but when Taylor and I were playing Project Zomboid a lot, and I would be out killing zombies and she would be home like building stuff. So I would go and get her lumber in the game. And I remember being in real life, driving past a lumber yard, being like, oh, I need to swing back there and get some lumber for Taylor. So it's in me. I know that I'll do it at some point.
Yeah. Same. I already mentioned during my little intro that like when I was playing games that had bug catching mechanics that I was seeing bugs in real life and going, I need to catch that. Also, I remember when I was a kid, I was reading Number the Stars, which takes place during the Holocaust, and it's not the main character I don't think is Jewish, and it's not like about like concentration camps. It's just like set during that time period. And there were, in fact, I think she's Swedish. I can't remember. But they talked about, in that book, they talked about the, what is the word? They, like, couldn't have, like, certain items. They could only have, like, so much of it. So, like, sugar, rations. I couldn't think of the word rations. And I was reading that book and I came downstairs and my mom was like making dinner or something. And I was like, how did she get so much butter? Because I was still in like the world of the book I was reading. So I would say I'm at a 0 because I don't think I'm immersed in this world at all. But I think I have a propensity. I think I have a high trajectory before too long that I'll be at a higher level. What about you, Zay?
Same, I think. Like, I don't know enough to get immersed in it yet, but that propensity is absolutely there. When I was playing Tears of the Kingdom, I kept seeing wells. I remember driving past a well at one point, being almost turning the car around. Cause like I haven't been down that one yet.
Driving your car into a well.
Oh, I would have stopped the car, which I would have then just dove down a well, I guess. So yeah, I that propensity to get too into a thing is there. So yeah, I don't know enough to be immersed yet. So if we're calling that a 0, but on dangerous ground, then
yeah,
that's where I'm at.
And as we're kind of talking about these things of like, here's what we think might happen, that does bring me to our next section, which is predictions. What are some things that we think will happen during the course of the show and our journey? Does anyone have predictions right off the bat that they're like, I think this is going to happen?
I think it's going to be a race to a race to the bottom between me and Zay of like going head first into the well that is Warrior Cats.
I'm gonna make a similar but like slightly different prediction, in which is I think you will immediately get genuinely into it, and I will do what I always do, which is I'm going to get super into it as a bit that no one knows is a bit, not even me.
Yeah.
But I can keep being like, it's a joke. I'm not that into Warrior Cats. And then at a certain point, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. You're describing my relationship with like House MD. Which
is that a bit?
Is that a bit?
Kind of. But it's what you just described. Kind of. I haven't watched it actually in a long time.
So much of it before you mentioned it to me, so I don't think that's really a bit.
Well, I watched it in high school. Like I watched it when it was coming out, and then I started rewatching it again. But I don't have Amazon Prime anymore, so I am not watching it anymore. So it's fine.
It is so subtle of a bit if it's a bit. Because you're just kind of like, you seem like hesitant to bring up. You're like, I was watching House MD the other day. And I was like,
yeah, because nobody else understands what a good show it is. So I have to have a practiced irony and embarrassment, but it's a good show. It's crazy. This is okay. I'm only gonna say this. It's wild that the showrunner for House wrote a show unintentionally with so much autistic representation, even though the characters are not. And I'm not just talking about House. I'm talking about a lot of those doctors. I'm talking. You watch House and watch Cameron in House and go, "Oh, she's autistic. She's autistic as hell." What wrote that, genuinely, I think, even though I'm not officially autistic, pretty good representation, and then went on to write The Good Doctor.
So you can't really speak on it then, can you?
I can't really speak on it, but I can say The Good Doctor, horrible autistic representation, and that character is canonically autistic, so I just think it's interesting.
It's wild. It's a wild thing.
Wild that it's the same showrunner. Okay, I have a prediction. I do know a little bit about Warrior Cats because there's a content creator named Lucky Lefty, I'm pretty sure is what their name is, who has done some videos on TikTok about Warrior Cats. So a prediction I have, I don't know that much about this. I think there will be some religion-related lore in the books that we will be stunned by the implications of, like, what that means for the world. There is some... I don't want to, like, spoil anything. I can't remember that well. But there's, like, some aspects of, like, the kind of, like, pantheon or, like, gods of the cats that, like, pretty strongly implies that cats are predestined, Like their afterlives are like predestined, kind of. Um, so I think I don't know how long it's going to take to get to that. I think we will have a lot to say about the ramifications and implications of the things that are established in this world. So that's one of my predictions. I'm excited for whatever that comes up. I like I said, I don't really know that much about it, but I know there's a lot in the fandom, and the Warrior Cats fandom. There's a lot of discourse about certain cats and like their villain status or like what happens to them after they die.
Oh my god.
Are we gonna have to talk about Calvinism on our Warrior Cats?
Zay, we are. From what I understand, this is a deeply Calvinist religion. So I think we are. Maybe we should have a Calvinist on
chat. It started already. We're already stunned, and we haven't even read any of these yet.
I don't. Of the religions that I know anything about, I don't really know anything about Calvinism, so I'm excited about this.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
You shouldn't be.
Well, too late.
It's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be good. So that's one of my predictions. Melanie, did you say a prediction yet?
Wow.
Oh yes, you did. But you can say another one.
I mean, it's kind of a general one, which Zay, I would encourage you to genuinely throw yourself into a thing and love it and stop saying that as a bit.
Yeah, Zay, you should do that. None of the rest of us do that.
The thing that you were saying that I will genuinely be into it and not be a bit. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a bit or not, because like people believe that it's real anyways. As if I don't do things that are bits. As if like a big thing about my friendship with other people isn't this bit where I'm like, yeah, minions. And my friends always send me minions because they think I genuinely love it. And I just love that my friends think about me when I'm not there. I think that's nice.
You are wearing a yellow cardigan.
Look, I can relate.
I like yellow. Is that so wrong?
You like yellow. You talk about bananas a lot.
Banana. I don't know what to say.
Look, I can relate. Everyone thinks I'm obsessed with Bigfoot because I tweeted about it one time.
Because you are.
Because you were Bigfoot with a gun on a stream, and because you got 2 big feet on your wall.
Yeah, because people have decided I'm into the thing. I have the stuff. It's not even a self-fulfilling
don't put it on your wall then.
prophecy.
Put it on your wall if you don't like it.
What my friends and family buy me gorgeous art of nude big feet, and I'm gonna not put it on my. I'm sorry, I misspoke. Bigfoot. It is Bigfoot. I know that.
Sorry, yeah.
I have some gorgeous art of nude Bigfoots, and I'm not gonna put it on my wall.
Gorgeous arts of sexy, beautiful.
They're objectively beautiful.
Yeah, they are really beautiful. It's true.
2 big feet. Was that a prediction, Melanie, or was that a call out?
I guess it was a call out. What did
I feel
like, did we talk about predictions on our, session 0 of this?
No,
because
I
I'm
don't
like
think so.
Totally blanking. I think some of our predictions we were talking about possibly making predictions of how long it takes for us to create a name, to choose a name. I don't want to use the thing that you created for the stream because I'm afraid that will. I want to try it out, but I don't want to do that until I've chosen a thing.
That's why I said we can't use it, because it's because we have a thing that's like one of our metrics, and if the very first episode we make cat names, then what are we doing?
How long do we think it'll take? A couple books in? 1 book in?
I think I'll start thinking about it as soon as I start reading the books.
Yeah,
because I've like yet to listen to like a podcast where I don't think about like if I was a guest on this, this is what I would say.
Yes.
So I think that's gonna be the same for the books.
I am stubborn and will try to fight it, but I think we have to be honest about if we are reading and we have a thought of a name. even if we're not like actively trying to come up with a name, I think that has to count, right? If we have an inkling of a warrior cat's name, right?
I think so.
I think we have to disclose that to each other.
Mm-hmm. We have to.
If we can't
have
be
a warrior
honest.
cat's name.
Legally.
Legally.
We have
Legally?
to disclose that.
Yeah.
Yeah, to our co-hosts.
I'm writing up a
Does that do
contract.
publicly?
Good. Thank you. Could you send that to my lawyer?
Already done.
I'll just sign it. I'll just sign it. I don't have to look it up.
I don't sign anything without my lawyer.
My other prediction is I think
Puts
one
on
of
a
us.
mustache.
It's just-
Don't even talk to me until I've talked to my lawyer.
You put on a mustache and like you put your glasses like way down here.
And we found out that I look really good in a mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did find that out.
Should I post that to the chat?
Yeah.
All of those mustache pics?
Yeah, you should.
Neely, you're gonna die. So good.
While you're doing that, my only other prediction that I came up with is one of us will cry reading the books.
Oh.
I don't know who and I don't know when.
For sure.
But I think one of us will cry.
I'm really given to tears, so that seems like it might be me. What do I win? Getting to cry?
Yeah. You
Damn.
win emotional release.
Catharsis, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof.
I have one other prediction, which is that I think I'm gonna call it out. I think all three of us are gonna find a character, the same character that we just hate for like without not like a villain,
Oh yeah.
but we're gonna find a character. We're just be like, this cat sucks.
That we all mutually hate?
Yes, I'm gonna call it now. I think that we're all three gonna agree on one cat, and we're like, this cat sucks.
Mutual
Kill 'em
shithead
off.
cat.
I don't even think
Yeah.
the cat will be that bad. I just think we're gonna be like, this cat sucks shit.
I think so. I agree with that. I bet that will happen.
Someone will cry. I'm curious, how are you both planning on reading this? Because I think I'm gonna do the audiobook.
Yeah, so that is oh, you already have it.
I haven't, maybe I've not cracked this open yet,
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Holy shit.
but
That does kind of get me into our
it's beautiful.
Oh, sorry.
So
Zay, I think you
fun.
might be lagging.
It's us.
Oh, I might be.
We'll see. Maybe you caught up now.
My...
It's hard to say. It's hard to
It's
say.
working fine on my end.
Okay. You
Okay,
like
good.
a little bit ago you were like really choppy for me for a second and I couldn't tell if you were for stream, but I think you're caught up now.
It was choppy for me too.
I think, and this is kind of our final segment, semi-final segment, is I had that we could go over like ideas for future episodes.
Yeah.
And one of them is, I talked about this in our session 0 pre-production meeting, whatever. That obviously with everything going on in the world right now, all of us are big supporters of the library. So I said, not that I thought that we would go out and buy all these books, but I said, I think we should all like use library resources to get these books. So Melanie, you've got the audiobook. Are you using Libby?
I'm using
for that?
Libby.
Nice.
Yeah.
I put a hold on the first book from my library. Zay, it looked like you had a library copy as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's so good.
Local library.
Yeah, so I thought like for each session we might talk or each like episode we could like say a little bit about like, oh, this is how like I used this resource from the library. I used an audiobook. I did an ebook. I did blah blah blah. Here's the, whatever, that kind of stuff. It doesn't have to be like a big thing, but I do want to shout out libraries. They're great. We love libraries. And if anyone in chat is joining us on this journey and also reading the books, you should also get them from your library. There are a lot of great resources. Like I said, you can get hard copies of them. You can use different apps to have audiobooks of them. You can do ebooks, lots of different stuff. And if you are wanting to read along with us and talk about these books, I did make a channel in my Discord server that Mila has already availed themselves of. That is the Warrior Chats discussion. Let me, if you're watching and you're not already in my Discord, you can click that link to join and talk about Warrior Cats with us. If you have already read them, if you are wanting to read them along with us, and maybe even if you have like things that you're like, oh, you guys should talk about like XYZ thing with Warrior Cats, you can like post it in that Discord channel and maybe we'll talk about it. We also are probably going to rate the books as we're reading them. I don't know what metrics we'll use for that. Like if we'll just do a simple like 5-star or whatever thing for that, or if we'll just say like liked it, didn't like it. We haven't really talked about it that much, but we did talk about wanting to rate the books. Melanie already talked about that we're going to take the clan quiz. So after this episode, but before we read the book for the next episode, we'll take that as just to see, not knowing anything really about the books, what clans we are assigned.
I might take that tonight. If I have time, if I have time, I might. I already told these other two that I have a Monster Hearts game like immediately after this. So yeah. Does anyone else want to go over some of the? I don't want to just like monopolize talking.
Yeah,
Anybody else can talk about stuff we want to do.
I'm excited about the next one on your list, which is the presentations on field guides or super editions, which is as soon as I'm given permission to crack open one of those field guides, I am diving in.
Yeah. So for people who aren't familiar, the field guides are like kind of like books that are the website I was looking at described them as like kind of different things. Like they're not all the same, but they're like kind of encyclopedia-esque kind of things about the world. And then super editions are like longer novelizations about like specific characters that are kind of like during the events of other books or like different things, but they're longer than the other Warrior Cats books.
So excited.
Yeah, so we talked about like maybe for some things like assigning someone to like read one of those and then doing like a little presentation, and like having like a thing on like the overlay like on the stream where it's like, oh, here's like a little PowerPoint or whatever that people want to do.
Cute.
One thing about me is I love a lore book. That lore is going to go right over my brain, just wash over it. But I love the act of reading that book.
Yeah. It's not about remembering it. It's about taking it in initially.
No.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
It's about knowing that there is lore.
Yeah.
Other things, future ideas. We are wanting to get a theme song from your brother, I believe.
Yes, which I haven't even talked to him about that yet, because I knew it wasn't going to be ready by this time. Yeah. Hey, watch this whole first episode and then write us a theme song.
Tell me if anything seems interesting to you about the end of it.
See if anything stands out.
But yes, my brother is a musician who did my usual theme song for like my streams, and also wrote a theme song for Melanie's podcast that's going to be released.
That's
really good. He's really good.
So good.
Alex is incredibly talented. So good. Super
talented. Another thing we had is watch or make Warrior Cats AMVs. I think that'll just happen naturally. I think as we're looking,
but I think I'm gonna watch a lot of them.
Yeah, watching them I think will happen naturally.
Maybe we do a Discord watch along with our
just a bunch of AMVs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That could be really fun.
And then Zay. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
We might be about to say the same thing. I don't know. Zay, I'm almost positive this was your idea, which is Zay said that people could pay us to meow.
I don't know if I was an idea as much as a joke, but I'll do a lot of things for money.
Yeah, there's few things I won't do for money.
Yeah.
In
So,
this
yeah.
capitalistic hellscape?
You can pay us to
Meow?
meow.
Oh,
Mila said,
We
I
get one
too
for
want you to
free.
make fetish content.
Mila, depends on the fetish, depends on how much you're going to pay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. It's true.
True.
If I like the fetish, then you can pay me poorly. But still pay me.
I would still like to be
Baby.
paid well.
Those were all the things that I wrote down for like that while we were talking about. Does anyone else have like stuff that they're like, oh, this would be fun to do on an episode or something that we might do in the future?
I mean, we kind of already talked about it, but I do think that at some point we will play a Cats themed RPG, whether it is the one
Yeah.
that's already written or we're writing our own.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah. I think the one that exists is D&D, right? That you were talking about before.
It is D&D based, or like
Okay.
an adventure designed for D&D. So, not great, but
I have a D&D embargo on this channel. So if it's D&D, we'll have to find something else. But I'm sure
Although we
there's
have to write
gotta
our
be.
own.
We'll have to write our own. There's gotta be. Or if it's an adventure, we could adapt it for something else. Mila's like, make it.
There is talking about D&D. I did back forever ago. The Cats and Catacombs. Like I
Oh,
think it's
yeah.
on Kickstarter. It's Animal Adventures. Oh god, you probably won't be able to see any of this. But it's all the different like classes, but cat figures. And like maybe
That's great.
we could use this for something that isn't D&D.
Yeah,
Oh my
I'm sure.
God.
I mean, there's so many games that like are grid-based tactical. Hell, maybe I would learn Pathfinder because that's basically the same thing, but a better company. So we could just use Pathfinder.
There's a bobtailed barbarian. It's so cute.
That's
They're
cute,
all
Melanie.
so
You should post.
cute.
You should post pictures in the Discord.
Okay. I will.
So one thing I have found just in some brief searches while we've talked on setting this up is that there are still a good number of text RP servers for Warriors, including a bunch of Discord ones.
Ooh.
So how long is it until we make our
we
own
join? Oh,
Warriors RP Discord?
I mean, almost immediately, right? Almost basically immediately, right?
We gotta read the books a little bit. so
We gotta read
understand,
them
I
a
think,
little
before
bit,
we
but
can
then we
roleplay.
open up the doors and we get Mila in there and we're all role playing.
I was gonna say who. I mean, I can't really stop anyone from getting in the Warrior Chat's discussion Discord channel and starting to RP Warrior Cat.
Mila says in all caps, please, Rosebriar is ready to be birthed.
Let her out, Mila. Let him out. Let Rosebriar out.
Release Rosebriar. Man, I already am like, I want to make a name.
Oh, hell yeah. I know I do.
We're
That's
gonna be LARPing Warrior Cats, and Zay will still be like, it's a bit for me. I'm doing this ironically.
Zay is gonna have
This
the
is an
most
OC.
like.
It's not me. I'm making a character to play. This is a creative exercise. I'm gonna be so annoying about it.
You're gonna craft the most heartbreaking, like, sincere story, and then you're gonna be like,
Yes.
this is a
But that's what I
bit.
mean. And what's wild about that, you saying that, it's as if you think that Taylor and I are like, ROC is us, and we are them, and I think I am
We're
Shadow Paw.
We're shifting into the Warrior Cats world. What? Oh, one thing that I totally forgot to put in the notes that I wanted to at least mention, even though it's just about time to wrap. I I discovered while we were getting ready for this, because I was like looking up the books to like get inspiration for what the overlay should look like. The books are not called Warrior Cats. The books are just called, it's just called the Warriors series. The website is like warriorcats.com, but like the books are not officially, at least the first series is not officially called that, which I was like, that's wild. That blew my mind. So
you brought that up in our session 0, I think, right? Didn't we talk about that? We didn't put it in the notes.
I didn't put it in the notes, and I was like, I'll talk about this during the game. But yes, I did break it to you.
Important to note, for sure.
Yeah. But we don't care. We're calling Warrior Cats.
You told us that, and I got irrationally angry. I still think that's fucked up.
It's fucked up. It's
absolutely fucked up. I now understand all the people who are like, that's not how Bernstein is spelled. Like,
oh yeah,
I know it's different. I'm like, no, it's Warrior Cats. I don't care. I will impose my reality upon this world.
We haven't read any of it so far, and we're already taking ownership of being like, that's actually fucked up and wrong.
Shouldn't be called that. Yeah, I think that's everything on our notes. I think, and like I said, I have a Monster Hearts game.
Yeah.
I have to play in a half an hour. Not every Thursday I will have that, but this Thursday I do. So for outros, do either of you have anything like specific that you want to plug? If you don't, I do have one thing.
Besides your channel, which you're going to get into here, you had mentioned in our session 0 about that Oklahoma law that about like trying to outlaw
Texas.
I wrote down Oklahoma from our notes.
You know what? Honestly, could be both.
But that law that's that has to do with stopping kids from being able to be furries, or which would basically stop people from being able to play pretend in school.
Yeah, it was like a school thing, but based on that whole like urban legend where it's like schools are putting litter boxes in class for kids who identify as cats, which is not real, and also I don't know who cares, but.
Which I hadn't heard about this until you brought it up to me, but I think I wanted to bring it up for if anyone feels inspired to write senators or call people and try to fight against that, because it's fucking awful.
Yeah.
Also,
it is
Mila
Oklahoma. You're right.
Thank you. It would be wild for me to write out Oklahoma, a very long word, if it was Texas.
Near each other.
Yeah. I'm listening. Mila has prompted me to talk about my podcast, Get Ritchie or Guy Trying, in which me and my partner watch all of the Guy Ritchie movies to find out what makes a Guy Ritchie film. We have one episode that is out exclusively on Taylor's Discord, and the others have yet to be edited or watched and recorded. So we'll work on that. Life has happened, but there's at least that little bit there for anyone who's interested. And that's it.
I have listened to that first episode. It is very good. So if you're in my Discord, I don't know, search. I don't even know what you would search. Get Ritchie, I guess. To see if you can find it in there. Zay, do you have anything specific that you want to plug?
Just along with Mel, and we talked about this a little bit, but I'll just plug public libraries and supporting them. If you live in the U.S. right now, public libraries are in trouble. There's a lot trying to take down the IMLS, and there are a number of states trying to like slash or completely remove their public library budgets, and that cripples libraries. So if you're in an area where that's happening, let your reps know that sucks. And libraries help a lot of people.
True.
Positive. One of the few positive things that we have in our society is, it helps not just for your books, but it helps people get jobs. It helps people in all sorts of ways. It helps people get food a lot of times. Like kids can go there and eat during certain programs and stuff. It
It's
is a
also
community hub.
a place to be where you don't have to pay to be there, which is few and
Yeah.
far between, aside from literally anything else about libraries. Is just you can go there and be there as long as they are open and exist. Yeah. The on a just seems silly to mention, but my plug.
I got this cartoon stream.
Oh, but I don't even want to talk about it.
We need a little bit of joy. Bring us home with something nice.
Okay. If you don't have enough of living in the end times, check out
Perfect segue.
Carmageddon, which is a Toon limited TTRPG actual play. It's going to be 6 episodes, about 3 hours, starting Wednesday, April 2nd, 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So like 9 to midnight Eastern Daylight Time. I'm not GMing it. My friend Becca is GMing it. He's incredible as a GM and has come up with this concept for Toon, which is a TTRPG that was released in the 80s, I think 1984, from Steve Jackson Games, which is the same publisher as like Munchkin, for example, is one of the big things they're known for. It's, I believe, out of print. And Becca has come up with this concept because the Toon TTRPG is basically just like Looney Tunes. Like, you play as a cartoon, like, you run around, you're goofy, you can't die. Becca has come up with a setting for Toon where there was a nuclear war, humans were killed or mutated, like, they don't really exist anymore, but since Toons can't die, they are the only things, like, really still alive in the world. But they can mutate still, so, like, they're still, like, they're not exactly dying out, but, like, there are fewer, like, kind of normal Toons around, and humans are the only ones who knew how to draw cartoons, and so Toons can't make more of them, so they are dwindling out. My character is named Adley Moto and is a motor scooter. So if you like,
Oh, good.
if you like Fallout, if you like Brave Little Toaster, that's a big touchstone for like my idea of what my character will be. If you like Looney Tunes, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, those are the touchstones for that. And that's going to be for the next, it's 6 episodes for next 7 weeks because we're skipping a week. But that'll be on this channel Wednesday nights for the next 2 months, basically.
It's
So check that
worth
out.
checking out. If even if you don't like TTRPGs, which is I don't know why you're here really, but if not for that, the artwork is so good. You need to see Taylor's character's artwork specifically. It looks like it could have come out like of a putt-putt game.
Yeah, it's really good.
So good. Taylor, are you going to have a little horn? Since you're a little scooter, are you going to have a little?
I should. I hadn't thought of that. But I should.
A little awooga? Maybe? You're a cartoon.
I am a cartoon. I'm just realizing, did I not make a stream ending scene? Sorry. I don't know what's going to happen when I transition to the next scene. It might be a black screen.
Uh-oh.
I think that's how we should end, frankly.
Hang on.
No fade to black, cut to black.
Cut. Just like, bye.
I think...
Boom.
No, I think it will play something. I think because it's technically a video, it's just showing as a blank screen to me now, but it'll actually play something when I hit the transition. Take me to the void. But yes, my friend Ethan did the artwork for the Toon stream. It's really good. All 3 of the characters are really, really great. So I'm very excited for it. And I've also done some really cool things with like overlays and stuff like that. So if you think that's fun, you should watch it. Otherwise, you can find all of us online, various places. I think I already did this in chat. But you can find Melanie online, mostly at Lemony Drews or Super Weirdy Feeling on Tumblr. You can find me everywhere at Roll for Felicity. You can find Zay on Blue Sky, Itch, and Tumblr at WildJBlue. And tweet at, post at us, skeet at us.
Skeet at us?
I don't like calling it that.
Is that what Blue Sky says? They skeet?
Skeet, yeah.
Oh no!
Okay, skeet at me. Don't skeet at Melanie.
Here's
Jose.
at me.
I mean, buy a girl dinner first.
And with that, goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
I was going to try to think of a pun for cats, but I didn't think of one. Bye.